there was some pond hockey played tonight. NHL is often seen as the no-hit league, and there's a lot of people who are not big fans of the way that some of the game is played now. However, tonight's game, featuring the Capitals and the Leafs, was fun to watch. As long as you weren't a goaltender or a former goaltender, um, it is hard to play every game. It is hard for a goalie like Freddie Anderson to go through a stretch as long as this one's been for him. So in losing that one, it's not something you have to be ashamed of. Winnipeg does what they have to do to win. Ehlers with 2 goals, Laine with a goal, Bufflin gets on track, Trouba with a goal, Scheifele with a goal. Winnipeg has needed to get some of its scorers back on track, and they got there tonight. So we'll see whether or not they're able to continue that as they make their way through the halfway mark of the season. And Tampa again, you know, Tampa is such an enigma right now. I don't know what to make of Tampa. And it's funny because at the start of the year, everybody told me, "Oh, Tampa's the favorite. Tampa's going to win the Stanley Cup." Oh, it's Tampa's. And there was consensus with all these magazines because Tampa's the best. And yes, Stammer's hurt, so Stamkos being out is going to hurt them. But there's something else wrong with Tampa, and I don't know where to put it. Vasilevsky played tonight, so you can't say, "Oh, Bishop was in." No, this wasn't Bishop's game. This was Vasilevsky's. Kucherov with 2 goals, Palat with a goal. I I don't know. I don't know what it is with Tampa. They're in a funk. And meanwhile, the Montreal Canadiens, who have a relatively simple walk to the division ahead of them, have Shea Weber get the overtime winner over Nashville in Nashville overtime. So good game for Montreal, and again, they can pretty much walk to that division unless Ottawa gets on a major hot streak. I was reading Elliot Friedman today, his 30 thoughts, and he talked a lot about Boston. And he said what I know as a fan of these guys. They get a lot of shots, they control a lot of the game, and then they lose. And it's the fact that they can't score. It's one of those things that I've said about analytics. Analytics will tell you whether or not a guy can get the puck. It doesn't really tell you whether or not he can do anything like if he can score with it. I would imagine when I played floor hockey and road hockey back in the day, I would have had a good analytics score. I was very good at checking in the corners. I was very good in terms of puck possession. I think I would have had very good metrics. Couldn't score. I will admit, hands of stone. So I passed it to guys who could. But I consider myself to be, secondary to them. And some of the guys that I checked regularly, they were better than I was. So, I look at the Bruins right now and I see a team of guys that try, but their shooting percentage is abysmal. And you can look it up. Most Bruins players right now are below that 10% mark. And if it wasn't for David Pastrnak, it'd be even worse than what it is. I believe in Friedman's article he said that they're right now at a 6.9% shooting percentage, which is really, really low. And you think about it, that means goaltenders playing against Boston have a 939 safe percentage as an average. So what does that say for Tuukka? What does that say for Tuukka Rask in that he has a winning record and the Bruins are still technically in a playoff spot? I say technically because they don't belong there, not with that shooting percentage. It was funny though because Friedman talks about all these stats and all these metrics, and he says, so basically what these metrics mean is if you shoot and you don't allow a lot of goals and you score a lot of goals, you're going to win. Yep, that's what all this comes down to. The team that scores the most probably wins the game. Sure, I'm glad they put all those stats together. Kings are playing San Jose. This reminds me of the other night when San Jose was against Anaheim, and I'm watching it. And I turned to Yvonne and I said, I hate both teams. She said, so who are you cheering for? I said, right now, probably a Fire right at center ice. I don't wish the team any ill well. Just a Fire. Just just a Fire. And it's true. I don't wish any particular injury on teams when I hate both of them, but I don't want to see either of them get points. So other than fire, or snow wiping out the game, or a rain delay, knock the roof out of the place. Now it's raining, can't play the game. Something happened to stop it. Um, but the Sharks and the Kings, two of the teams that the Canucks are chasing. I haven't heard anybody ask me, do you think the Canucks can chase down a playoff spot? No. If anybody asks me that, the answer is no. Not really, no. Fake 500 is nice to get to. There's a certain amount of pride, uh, for a team to go over the 82 point mark at the end of the year. But it really doesn't mean much if you don't make the playoffs. It's just a stat. It doesn't really mean a whole lot. Um, and the Vancouver Canucks are a team that have had their share of trouble with 500 in the past. I'm old enough to remember the 80s Canucks when 500 was a dream. I remember when I think it was 89. That year they had 73 points, I think. And I remember talking to my friends at school about how good they were. They had a 7-game winning streak that year. I was like, wow, the Canucks are so good. Where is it? In 88, 89. Yeah, they had 74 points in 80 games. They had 251 goals for and 253 goals against. And they lost in 7 that year to Calgary. And I was just stoked with how good I thought they were. And the following year, they had 64 points. I remember I had a Canucks sweatshirt that I wore to school. I wouldn't wear it on a game day because I felt like I was jinxing them. And then when they were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, it didn't matter. The funny thing was, then they started winning on days that I wore the jersey or wore the sweatshirt. And guys who noticed and were as superstitious as I was, they were like, "Oh, you have to wear that on game days now because they win." And then my statement was, "Oh, they win because the games don't matter." Um, but yeah, that was a fun year, and I miss that. I miss when 500 meant something. In a day and age where uh, players have a harder and harder time scoring 80 to 100 points, teams getting 80 or 100 points in the standings is easy. 100 points is not. I looked at it the other night, and you could have as many as 11 teams this year with 100 points. And there was a time not that long ago where you might not get any teams with 100 points. Let me just take a quick look back here. The standings are in here. Before anybody asks, I am using the Bible, the National Guide and Record Book, the NHL Guide and Record Book. It is absolutely the most fantastic. If you're looking for stats on anything, they're in here. Like, okay, 15, 16, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams got 100 points last year. The year before that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I remember, too, in 14, 15, people were like, there's a team that's got 100 points that's going to be out in the first round. Yeah, because there's 12 of the damn things. It doesn't mean anything anymore. 13, 14, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. 10 teams. 12, 13 was lockout shortened. 11, 12, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's go back. Let's go back to 88, 89. The season I just talked about. There was 2. Montreal and Calgary, and they met in the final. Calgary had 117 points. Montreal had 115. The next closest that a team got was Washington with 92. 87, 88. There were 2. Calgary Flames, Montreal Canadiens. The Edmonton Oilers, led by Wayne Gretzky in 87-88, did not get 100 points. They made it to 99. 86-87, 2. The Edmonton Oilers, and the Philadelphia Flyers. 85-86, 3. Edmonton Oilers, Philadelphia Flyers, Washington Capitals. 84-85, 3. Philadelphia Flyers, Washington Capitals, Edmonton Oilers. 83-84, there were 5. Oh, this was a bad season for 100-point teams everywhere. Edmonton Oilers, Boston Bruins, Buffalo Sabres, New York Islanders, Washington Capitals. Oilers had 109, Boston had 104, Buffalo 103, Islanders 104, Washington 101. 82-83, there was 4. Chicago, Edmonton, Boston, and Philly. And Boston was number 1 overall with 110. 81-82, Edmonton, Montreal, and the New York Islanders. 80-81, 3 of them. Montreal, New York Islanders, St. Louis Blues. So it's just one of those interesting things that I think about, is just how easy it is now with the loser point. People, I'm sure the younger generation are wondering why the loser point ticks me off so much, because I want 100 points to mean something. It's sort of like how I would like to see scoring opened up just a little, so that players can get to it's not a matter of, and I've done scoring videos lately. To me, it's not a matter of talent. The players are just as talented now as they were in the 80s. It's not just goaltending. There were good goaltenders in the 80s. It's the way the game is called. It's the fact that the game hasn't kept up with the fact that players are a lot bigger on that same ice surface. There hasn't been enough adapting to encourage offense. So defense takes over the game. And every team gets 3 points. Oh, got to get the game to overtime. Get that point. Drives me insane. Absolutely drives me insane. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think about tonight's action. Toronto loses, but they get the point because the loser point. Winnipeg wins. Montreal with the win. Nashville is in trouble. Nashville's genuinely in trouble. Columbus makes it 16 in a row. I want to shout out to Nick Foligno, shout out to Cam Atkinson, shout out to Gagne, shout out to Bobrovsky for another solid game. I am in amazement at what Columbus has done. For New Jersey tonight, don't look now, but Corey Schneider with 29 saves on 30 shots gets another win. It's nice, 12-12-5. And his stats are starting to get better. So as soon as I mentioned Corey Schneider's probably not playing very well, suddenly he starts to turn around. And it's not a coincidence that New Jersey's won 2 in a row with Corey Schneider playing very well. He's allowed 1 goal in those 2 games because New Jersey can't score. New Jersey's goals tonight were Henrique, Palmieri, and Camilleri. And Buffalo beats the Rangers. It's one of those one-offs. It's one of those weird games. I don't know where that goes from there. I know the Rangers are better than that, and they just had an off night, so we'll see. I will be doing grades soon, though, because we're almost to the halfway mark, so we'll be doing grades of where teams are at. When Yvonne was behind me earlier tonight, she was doing the hockey pool. There's some stuff going on that she won't be doing the update tonight. We'll be looking at it probably tomorrow night. It's personal stuff I can't get into on the channel, but I admire her for even sitting here tonight and doing that, because anyways, yeah, I can't get into it. I just can't. But yes, I would also like to congratulate you guys on helping me to achieve 1,700 subs. We passed 1,700 tonight. I gained 20 subs today. So welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. And I will continue to strive to come up with new content every night, and you guys giving me the feedback it's important to me. So thank you for all that. And I will strive to continue to improve things. There was a comment made yesterday about the setup. For those of you people that are new, this is my bedroom in my recently moved place, and it's the webcam I'm using is the highest rated one I could find on Amazon. I didn't go with the digital camera because they tend to be really, really pricey. and I have 4 kids, and the odds of something happening somewhere, I mean, if something happens to this webcam, it's $100, but if it's a $250 or $350 GoPro or digital, but I will say this, with revenues being where they've been, I can really start looking at some potentially decent upgrades to things. I'm actually honestly quite happy right now with the way everything's going, and I just wanted to give you guys a shout out and a thank you, because without you guys, this doesn't go anywhere, and it's kind of been amazing. So every day now, when my stats are updated, I get to tell her, and she's excited, and I'm happy. And thank you, because she has said too, there's been days where the counts just jump, and she said somebody shared your video. Somebody out there is sharing your videos, and I don't know where they're sharing, what's going on, but I am continuing to strive to provide coverage for all 30 teams. And that's my vow to you guys. If you're a fan of any team in the league, I want you to come to my channel and find content for your favorite team. And if you find that there's some severely lacking team out of the 30 that's just not being covered, comments. Comments. I read as many of the comments as I can. I got to admit, it kind of gets unruly at times, and I might miss something. So, I apologize if I've missed something. You can message me through the channel, and you know, I read those messages as well. So thank you very much. You guys are awesome. And I may very well be back with another video before I turn in for the night. We'll have to wait and see. I'm listening to kids getting ready for bed, and that can kind of get hairy sometimes. But we'll see. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you, you guys. And this is a fun ride, and it's greatly appreciated, because sometimes the real world out there sucks. So it's nice to have this at the end of the day. And I'll talk to you all again soon.